Now you should be able to hear me. Okay, brilliant. See, that's why we do the stream thing. I don't know why that happened. You know, I do have this mute button on my microphone. I will just pour myself some water because I'll probably talk a lot today. So, okay. Sorry for that little inconvenience in the start. But now I hope you can hear me. At least that's what my microphone thinks. Yeah, perfect. See. Yeah, so I was thinking I could record the next Neon Genesis Evangelion episodes, but I was also like, I really want to play Steins Gate again. So I guess this is a ninja stream. I do think I teased it in one of the comments, but I didn't really tease it on the channel that much. But you know, it's like daughters just got to sleep. I hope. Fingers crossed, and we will see if Steins Gate will have some cool stuff for us. Let me actually. So I still need to get the chat out of this window into this window. Perfect. Okay. So I think we will just wait like 3 or 4 more minutes and. Anubhav Dash, I do think my physics subject I like most is currently. That's a good question. I'm always torn between astrophysics and quantum physics. I understand quantum physics more, which is something people normally don't say, I feel, but there is a lot of mystification in quantum physics, which is just doesn't need to be there. Quantum physics is pretty straightforward. When you interpret it, it's gonna get weird and difficult, obviously, but you know, the mathematics and all of that, it makes perfect sense, I think. And yeah, so that would be my answer. It's probably astrophysics currently. Astrophysics. Because it is more, it also has more interesting questions like the beginning of life and where do we come from. Also, by the way, I did buy a capture card for my PlayStation 5. Don't know where it is. It's probably laying around somewhere. Oh yeah, there it is. So I bought one, so we can stream PlayStation games if we want. Yeah. Oh yeah. So quantum tunneling is actually not that bad if you understand the difference between wave function and measurement. So you, like, everything you do with Schrödinger's equation is calculate and describe things via a wave function. So you can just imagine like a normal wave that just reflects in part and transmits in part, like you always do. And if you measure it, it's just that the particle is at one of the two sides of the tunnel barrier. And tunneling only works if the barrier is finite, which is also important. Also, shoutouts to Kurisu. She looks awesome there. Hi, Shiny Galpon. Hope you're doing well. So yeah. Yeah, but I also agree. I have to say I really struggled with mechanics. I'm currently, like, a colleague of mine is doing a very, very good mechanics lecture in physics. And he asked me to visit him to give some advice for the presentation, like educational stuff. But he's doing fine, you know, so I don't do a lot. But like, I really remembered that classical mechanics for me is a lot more mysterious and difficult than quantum mechanics currently. Perhaps that's specialization bias, I don't know. Yeah, E smaller, V smaller 0 is indeed very weird. But I do think that Anubhav, what I think might help if the concept is weird is that you describe the wave function, and you can do that perfectly with the Schrödinger's equation and its solutions, and you measure it, and then you get the probabilities, and that's just all there is. Like, there's no weird decision and measurement, consciousness and stuff. I do think that Merck is the thing, so yeah. Oh, Mama Grizzy, my favorite episode of Attack on Titan is 320. The one I spent 2 hours analyzing. Also, There's a reactor who does watch my Attack on Titan, or did watch some of my stuff. I would shout her out for a moment. Wait a moment. She's also a doctor of literature. She's got pretty cool Attack on Titan videos. So if you want to go to her, I would advise to check her out. And we will start in a moment with Krista here, obviously. Like, I just want some people to get here because I ninja'd the stream. Like, I just started it because I can today. I do have the time. And it's Easter. So let me see. Dr. Sophie Darling reacts, yeah. So you can check out her channel. She's on, like, she starts with season 4 of Attack on Titan this week, I think, or like her next upload will be that. So that's really cool. I can really recommend that. Very clever person. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the oscillation just comes from the complex part. That's like basically because it's a wave function and you do have an eye, you get an oscillation. Like, you know, it's just how the equations are. So, yeah, I don't know. Can someone remind me how I get the 212? Also, I liked, you know, I have to say 212, I really did not like it on first watch, but now I really like it. I really hated the Mikasa moment. I got a lot of shit for it, for being like, I don't like it, because Hannah's death really did move me a lot. Like, Hannah's death moved me more than probably the creator wanted. And that, you know, but the Mikasa scene is so awesomely done. Like, it's basically the ending of the show, so yeah. Yeah, yes, but I agree. The quantum mechanics thing is like, it is unintuitive. That's the thing. It is unintuitive, but it's not illogical. And if you distinguish between those two ideas, I do think you'll define with quantum mechanics. I don't know. I do think classical mechanics is a lot weirder because it is more real. And I do think reality is more complex than quantum reality, so to speak. I don't know if that makes sense. But anyway, let's wait like 2 more minutes, then we start with Krista's lecture. I don't know. I do hope my voice is clear. Currently, I do have some weird lighting problems. Oh, wait. Okay, now it's a bit better. I forgot to turn on the lamp. Yeah. Yeah, like, I do think in India you have many brilliant scientists as well. I don't personally know many Indian scientists, but I know some that were on departments close to mine, and they were very brilliant people. I do think the fascinating thing about pre-World War II science was in general, it was basically Niels Bohr who did all of it, in that he organized the communities. And I think without Niels Bohr, we would still be, probably not, but we might be a lot worse off. Because Niels Bohr was the one who brought everyone together. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, Bose Einstein, that's true, yeah. I really like those things as well. I like bosons. Bosons are really interesting. I don't like fermions that much. That's probably just personal preference. So I do hope you can all see, like, let's just quickly start this. I will put myself here so we see the text. I will also unmute her. I do think...
Oh, time machine ka.
Yeah, you should hear her. And him. So you all hear Okabe, correct? Because I had to mute the intro last time. I just want to make sure that you hear what he's saying. And we can talk about all things in physics today. I mean, you can always on streams ask every question you want. So, also, by the way, I just uploaded the first 2 chapters of my book on Patreon for free for everyone. Like, you don't have to be a patron or registered at Patreon, so you can look at the first 2 chapters. I will also do some more advertisements on the weekend. and link it, but just a few, so you exclusively get to know this. First 2 chapters are up. If you want, I can put them in the chat, but yeah. So if you hear Okabe and Kurisu, I've heard there are like 20 time travel theories here. So let's see what we do today. Yeah, I really do hope I will be able to do the streaming Fridays more consistently again. So I will try my best to do Attack on Titan live watches next week again. So yeah. Yeah, I do know the classical mechanics assignments are already like, and especially if you're not allowed to use Lagrange and stuff, it's really sucky. Anyway, let's start. I do think we did have enough. And as I said, feel free to ask everything you want. You don't need to be referring to this brilliant visual novel, which is already better than the brilliant anime we watched. So.
最初に結論を言ってしまうと、タイムマシンなんていうのはバカらしい代物だということです。
Yeah, it's so funny though. We have to, because we know all of us, you and me, all of you. We know that she's lying here. She's lying. Igiyari! So now we are at Phoenix, right? I've never played those games. I think I've played one game, the first case. Also, by the way, it takes a lot of balls to stand up in a community of scientists, and I know they're mock scientists, but stand up and shout like you're talking out of your ass. There is, you need to have a certain personality. I do know some people who are like that, but not many. Some genius girls dribble such an awesome line. So let's see what she says. They try to kick him out. Yeah, of course they wouldn't though. They wouldn't though.
まあ、はい、いいですよ。ディスカッション形式の方が話も弾むでしょうし。
That's cool of her though. So let me talk about that a bit. So normally in conferences you would not get thrown out. I mean, you might get thrown out in real big conferences where there are very famous people talking. But in this stuff, like this is basically a big room conference, you wouldn't get kicked out. In my conferences where I go to, and they're not like, they're okay. Like I was on a conference 2 weeks ago. It was really cool. Very many great talks. I met many people who did cool stuff. And I connected with some new people. But on that conference, even though it was pretty good. Like it was not a low-level conference. It was like middle ground, I would say. And still there no one would be kicked out. Like there was even a guy who is spouting weird conspiracy theories for 20 years now. And let's just let him talk. And it's like a little fun thing we have. Just like everyone's allowed to talk. I do think that's good for science, even though if it's weird stuff, because you have to be able to keep an open dialogue. You know what I mean? So I don't think someone would like run and kick someone out. Then again, this is a private event, so I guess it makes sense. But just for your background, in a science conference, this would not happen. No one would kick him out. I think you would be kicked out on a international level conference where there are, I don't know, Nobel Prize winners speaking. You might get kicked out then, and even then you wouldn't probably. I had that once. There was a dude who did, funnily, because we talked about that just now, there was a dude who was like, I can prove quantum mechanics is a scam. I can do everything quantum mechanics does with classical physics. He had a paper written, and he was a nice old man. I do think don't know if he's got dementia currently. Like he didn't have it then. Like, but he was like very old, but he was very adamant. He was a very kind man. I did talk a lot to him during the lunches. he was from solid matter physics, and he'd been in that area for I think 50 years of research. So he was like he was alive and active in the times and part where quantum physics came up into his area of research, which was I think the 50s in his case, something like that. And he just couldn't change his mind, you know. So, but he was allowed to talk. Like everyone was like, yeah, I know he's not contributing, but he indeed did get respect from all of them because he was a good physicist. He just, you know, wasn't, I don't know. Yeah, quantum mechanics was seen around during World War II. I don't know if it was during World War II. Quantum physics was seen as incorrect regarding its interpretations at least until the 30s, I think. Yeah, you're right, I think. I'm not sure about the exact number of years. I know, for example, because Schrödinger did solve quantum physics, I think. I hope I don't get this confused. Schrödinger solved it through functions and analysis, and Heisenberg did solve it through matrices and algebra. And they actually had some funny quotes that were quite antagonistic. I do think in a fun way still, like they probably knew each other, but they were like, yeah, he's talking rubbish. Because, oh, by the way, this year is the year of quantum physics. UNESCO, I think, did call that out, or whatever you say, so, yeah. And just, so I do think, I also like Krista's move here, like, yeah, let's discuss it. Because that's why not? Let's go. Yeah, like the event stuff need to get really thought of. Yeah, that was one of the things that I don't think it was with quantum physics, but Einstein got really, really, really. There is a famous quote from Niels Bohr. There was a famous quote from Niels Bohr. So Einstein did give a lecture on relativity. So it wasn't about quantum physics. Einstein gave a lecture about relativity. And you probably know that was his big achievement. And he did publish it, and no one believed it at first. There's a paper, 100 authors against Einstein, and they all failed. They couldn't disprove it. And so Niels Bohr did go to a lecture, I think, with Heisenberg and Sommerfeld. And they listened to Bohr for the first time, I think. At least that's how Heisenberg tells it in his memoirs. And there was a painter person, and I do think because I said the name in the monster reactions, it gets shadow banned, so I will not say it here. Like the painter people, it's like the bad people in Germany in World War II. Like one of those was there in front of the audience room, and he did distribute leaflets to the people attending Einstein's lecture of, he's a Jew, like don't believe him, like obviously he's wrong, you know? And Niels Bohr's comment to that was, if they cannot beat him with content arguments, like based on science, I believe him, because they now resorted to these underhanded personal ad hominem methods. So he's probably right. That was Bohr's statement. So, you know, but the thing about Life's work is indeed true. We do have the problem with string theory currently. String theory, as far as I understand, and I might be mistaken a bit because I'm not in that area. I've just read about it a bit, and I might misrepresent this a bit. So really take this with a grain of salt. Like, I'm not an expert in this discussion, but I've heard, and it seems reasonable, that string theory is just a mathematical idea that works pretty well in mathematics, but it has no relationship to the real world. And people and like professorships are based on string theory, and institutions and societies of scientific societies, they are based on that idea that it is real, that it describes reality, and it doesn't yet, as far as I understand. So it's really one of the things as well. Their life, like people's life work, will get devalued, or they will not have a life because, like, they will be fired. because they're not doing useful stuff, so to speak,
で
know.
もその
So
前に
let's see
私の考えを
what she
話させてくだ
says.
さい。
Let's go.
これまで世界中の科学者たちがタイムトラベルについての理論を提
We've
唱し
got
てきました。
kinetic energy.
主な理論の数
derived by time.
11に及びます。
Is this correct? No, it isn't. This is not a correct formula. This is not the correct formula. This would be just the momentum. I don't know why there's a square here. That makes no sense. CDT to... This is... I do think this is relativity, though. This seems fine. This is gravitation. I can't read it. Is that a C and an A? I don't know why that would make sense. D theta to D sine. I don't know. This might be something. I don't know. But this is incorrect. Like, why would that be? Oh no, it's by time. No, but this is time. It is x dot. Like, why would this equation? Like, why would you put this in here anyway? I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with their beliefs, though. Like, it was just... I think Heisenberg and Bohr were really... We don't know what they did. There is a talk between, I think it was Bohr and Heisenberg. So Heisenberg stayed in Germany. Bohr tried to stop the Manhattan Project and all the nuclear developments, I think. And Bohr met Heisenberg and no one knows what they talked about. And some people suggest that what they talked about was, let's just not research nuclear physics anymore because we will get an atomic bomb. We know we will. So, which do I enjoy more, Monster or Steins Gate? That's a question I don't know. I like both of them in different ways, so I can't really measure them against each other. I think Steins Gate had the bigger emotional impacts, but Monster is a lot more realistic and it feels more real. But I also think Steins Gate doesn't need to feel as real as Monster, because Monster is rooted in the idea of trying to understand what evil is, and Steins Gate is trying to understand what it means to be connected to your friends in a very meaningful way. So I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, this is incorrect, this formula. So major theories of time travel. Hi, Miriam. No, you did not miss much. I just ranted or talked about a lot of historical stuff, I think. Yeah, okay. So, oh God, we go there. Okay, let's go. Good that I just have water today. Yeah. Okay, so string theory. Oh, by the way, when this came out, oh God, Jesus Christ, 11.
理論、ブラックホール理論、高速理論。
I will go a bit further. So the thing is, though, when this came out, I think it was 2010. String theory was a lot bigger than it is now. So, Parapon, the next two monster reactions is awesome. Man, I love them so much. I couldn't connect to Carl that much, although I understood him, but yeah. I do think, though, by the way, Anubhav, I hope I pronounced this correctly. I'm sorry if I don't. The idea is also, we also have to keep in mind, it's not always bad things that science produces. It's neutral. It's people that turn it into bad or good things. Because, for example, we do have fission power plants that were good, like many others say. So, yeah. Yeah. So let's go. Neutron star theory, black hole theory, light speed theory. I like that. Yeah, like the Johan episodes, they're so fire. Man, I love Johan. So neutron star. So neutron star is a very dense star. It hasn't collapsed to a black hole yet. But yeah, so black hole theory is also, by the way, they all call them theory, which is, don't do that. I sometimes do it as well. It's colloquial language. No scientists would do this. It would be Newton star hypothesis, black hole hypothesis, light speed, but I talked a little about that as well.
タキオン理論、ワームホール理論、エキゾチック物質理論。
Tachyon theory, wormhole theory, exotic matter theory. Very good. So tachyons are theoretical particles they haven't found. Wormholes I can say a lot of because I've published papers on that. Exotic matter is also interesting. I've not looked into that a lot. It's not. Yeah, I mean, I like Carl. I really like Carl. I like Carl. I like his father. I just don't understand the relationship because I can't connect with it. Like, I really love the characters. The characters are awesome, but the things depicted, they just don't connect with them because I'm also adopted. My sister would connect with them 100% though. Like, it's not the writing, it's just the topic I don't connect with. Yeah, exotic matter. Cosmic strings, oh god. Quantum gravity. Cesium laser theory. Cosmic string and quantum gravity, why would you put them differently? Like, they have so heavy intersections. You have cosmic string theory because you want to have quantum gravity theory, so. But we will see. We'll see. Elementary particle ring. This also, like elementary particle ring and laser theory, I don't know what this means, the laser theory in this, we will hopefully find that out. But elementary particle ring sounds a bit like loop quantum gravity, I don't know. Dirac antiparticle theory, I don't know why that would be a thing. So. I think the only characters I didn't like in Monster were, by the way, Heckle and Baby. Like person-wise, so. I mean, if you can argue against one of those, you're already very good, I would say. Yes, all of these models are purely theoretical. That's why it's a hypothesis, not a theory, Max. I know, I'm a party pooper. That's fine, though.
12番目の理論が発見されたとしたらどうかな
Why would that matter? Why would a 12th model matter? Like, one of them could be true because only one is probably true. It doesn't matter if it contradicts others. Like, why? I don't know. Quantum gravity is really hard, though. Like, quantum gravity is like the holy grail currently.
そうですね。13番目の理論によって否定されるかもしれませんね。
I love that answer. That's a very well written answer. That's an incredibly well written answer. But that, like, because it's completely true. Like, she, like, this tells me that this character, and I know that already because, but Marquise knows science. Like, it's very realistic to say that. Like, this was what a scientist would say. Because it's always a model. You model reality. You will never be at reality. Never ever. And you don't need to. You just need to be sufficiently close to reality. That's what physics does. For example, fun fact, I do think solid metaphysics is in no way understood. And by that I mean they know some stuff, but they just do perturbation terms and stuff. So I don't know. Yeah, they don't have a model for that unites gravity and quantum theory. They don't have that. That's the holy grail. Yeah. Yeah. This is cool though. I really like the writing on Kurisu is really good. Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, this isn't just a rhetorical throwback she gave him. This is a very, very sophisticated throwback she gave him, and he doesn't even understand it. I love it. It's so funny. I don't want to risk losing my credits. I don't know.
ちなみに、
New tip,
未来へ
theory
のタイムトラ
relativity.
ベルなら今すぐにでも可能ですよ。アインシュタインの相対性理論によればね。
It is. I do hope I talked about that. Did I talk about that in the reactions? I think I did. Please quickly confirm that or deny that I did talk about that. Because I do think I did. Like, if you go near an event horizon, for example, or near a neutron star, I think that is that sufficient? I don't know. But if you go close to a large gravity well, and well is figuratively meant, you would go, you would, so to speak, be stretched out, and your time would go a lot slower than time outside, So the Inception, interstellar effect would be like the Cooper scene is like very real. That's how you travel to the future. It's the plot of Interstellar, exactly. Yeah, it's that, and it's only working because it's a gravity. It's because it's general relativity. No, this is incorrect. Special theory is not the correct one. The general relativity, the general theory of relativity says this: time travel to the future. Special relativity theory is just reference frames, I think. So, I just need to find out. Can someone remind me which key it is that brings up the explanation? I don't remember. Was it an F key? I will just press all the F keys. I hope my voice is not killed or my stream is killed. I will. Oh, I can look it up. Can't I? Wait.
例えば今すぐ羽田空港に行って そこから沖縄
Let me see. Backlog, system menu, skip mode, phone trigger, tips. F4 was it tips? Might be tips. I will just go to F4. Yeah, it is. Okay. Okay. It refers to both Einstein's special relativity of relativity and his general. It is just the general one that allows time travel into the future, though, by the way. Represented by the famous equation E equals mc squared. That's a very, very shallow way of looking at it. Special relativity is defined by the following terms. Objects cannot travel faster than the speed of light. That's true. As velocity approaches the speed of light, the passage of time approaches zero. The perceived passage of time approaches zero. The perceived one. As velocity approaches the speed of light, length approaches zero. Yeah. Like these are true, but the thing is, you have to switch inertial systems to really make sure, and that's the problem with special relativity. General relativity is different. In the presence of large gravitational fields, the passage of time slows down. This is the one that's correct. The other ones are just mirages, so to speak. You know? So, Miriam, I agree. She's an incredibly well-crafted character. I do think Marcus is my favorite character as well. Like, I like Okabe almost as much. I think those two are my favorite ones. But I think Marcus is presence of larger gravitational fields, mass is increased. Yeah, that's true as well. Space curves, yeah. Very nice. Very nice. Like, this is very well researched. I like it.
その人は10億分の1秒くらい私より未来に進んでいる
Oh god. Let's say someone were to go to a plane, but however, the person would be about 100 millionth of a second farther to the future than I am. Yes, that is correct. Because you move away from the Earth's gravity. It is still an experiment that's a bit simplified, but they actually did it. Fun fact, they did that. They did that experiment. The clocks really do go differently if you go away from the source of mass and closer. Yes, spaghettification, that's true, yeah. So that is true, but it's only because of the gravity, because you are farther away from the gravity center of the Earth. So, yeah.
移動する速さが高速に近づけば近づくほど時間は遅く流れるそれが相対性理論
Yeah, but it appears to move slower.
極論を言えば光と同じほどの速さで走ることができたら流れる時間はその人だけ半分になるわけで
Yeah. The problem is
24時間その速度で走り続ければ周囲では48時間が経ったことになるから丸1日分未来へ飛んだことになるんですよ
I love how she says it. Oh, you can just ask that, Anubhav. I'm fine. Like, just ask everything you want. Like, I'm always happy to discuss stuff. This is true in the formula, but the problem with this is, and I've seen this people getting this wrong a lot. you have to move to another inertial frame or frame of reference, and by doing that, you accelerate or decelerate, and that's why there are problems. So if you were to keep running at the speed of for 24 hours, yes, but you would have to accelerate to that speed, and you would have to accelerate down from that speed again to like check with the other person, and that's the problem where the weirdness starts, you know. But she's singling you out because you talked back to her, so.
それはへりくつではないかな
Yeah, it's not really acceptable. Yeah, I would make that objection as well, though, yes, it is time travel, it's just not the time travel we know from sci-fi. What? Why wouldn't you expect a professor to refute an 18-year-old girl? They do it all the time. Most of the time, it's very sensible as well.
そうですね。
Why? Oh my god, that's so much to unpack. Why would a professor not refute it? If there's a fact spoken incorrectly that you know is incorrect, I mean incorrectly in that it is not in line with the scientific description, you would single everyone out. Like, because she's grandstanding in front of, like, not grandstanding in that she's arrogant, even though she is a bit, but like it's not what she's really doing, but she's standing there and she's giving a talk and she has to defend what she says. So every scientist should try to pick holes in that. That's what science does. That's the basic idea of science. So him not understanding that is really interesting because we know he's not a real scientist. So yeah, but I agree. That's what I said. It's like, of course they try to correct you. Like, that's the idea of science. I can take this guy on. Okay, let's take this
で
guy on.
は過去には行けるのかな
Yeah, that's the thing. What about going to the past? Also, I don't think it is taking people on. It is together. It is, for me, science is working together to figure out the holes.
過去にだって今すぐ行けますよ。夜になったら望遠鏡で空を覗いてみてください。何万年も前の光を見ることができるでしょ。
Going to the past is impossible right now. Take a look at the sky at night. You can see light from tens of thousands of years ago, can't you? That's true. I like that. Yeah, knowing something you don't know anything, basically, as a scientist. The more you're a scientist, the more you know that you don't know anything. And one of the core ideas of science is that you just try to approach something. You just try to describe things better than the people before you. Nothing more. There is no universal truth. And even if there were, you would never reach it. So, high speedy, yeah, it was an in-here stream. I just was like, yeah, why not do? You know, why not do an in-here stream? I also think in science you don't just prove stuff once. You have to verify it. It's one of the biggest problems. I do think in my area it's a bigger problem than in normal science areas. Because, like, you know, I'm in science education, so I do psychology, basically. I'm also better in psychology than in physics, by the way. I did physics for a lot of time, but currently I just mostly do psychology. But in psychology, most things cannot be repeated and checked. Because the groups you test something on vary from the, like, you can't repeat anything. Like, you can't recreate the circumstances under which you tested stuff. And in psychology, you circumvent it by trying to create environments that are incredibly controlled. But as I'm in science education, you can't control a classroom. Classroom is infinite variables, so to speak. So, yeah, I don't know. I like this though with the sky. As I said, I do think I said this in the Steinsgate reactions. You should install Stellarium. I will type in the chat for a moment. Wait. I'll type it in the chat. It's an app, and you can really nicely categorize the planets. Like, this is the name of the app. Count atoms in 12G carbon. Yeah, like that's exactly that, yeah.
それもへりくつですよ。
That's not time travel either, she says.
まあ、今までのは前置き。
Yeah, she is nervous. The thing is also, I love that I know this already, like this, because I really love reading this when I know the background of the character. She knows time travel probably exists. She does have a hypothesis that is true. We know it's true because we see it later. And she came up with it, and she's probably not presenting it here. Perhaps she is, because the black holes are probably it, but...
例えば実際に皆さんが体ごと過去や未来へ行く
Yeah, what would we
代
need?
表的なところだと宇宙ひも理論か
Cosmic strings and
ワームホール理論
wormholes.
かな。
Yes, probably. Because wormholes are holes in space-time and not just in space. Depends on the wormhole, though. I wrote a paper on that with my supervisor during my PhD thesis time. The thing is that entanglement is basically wormholes, which means that every interaction between particles, every measurement is creation and destruction of wormholes. That's really wild to think about. So, you know. I don't know if that's okay though. I do have that as well. I said last week, I said in a lecture with my colleague on theoretical physics, and he did. It was a cool problem. Like, he basically took a what are they called? Like these little balls that jump up again, like this. You know, these balls, and you can calculate the height after every jump with if you disregard friction. And he did that problem just by thinking and using school mathematics and a bit more. And he calculated it down on the blackboard, and there were only 2 students who asked stuff. And those 2 questions were very good questions. They were questions I would have had if I hadn't known what the professor was doing. And I was very disappointed that only 2 people asked that. Because because the professor is a very, very open-minded man, and the way I understand, like, I don't know him for that long, but the way I get him is like he takes time after class to explain to like students that come to him, can you explain this to me again? And he will just take his time, sit down with them, explain it to them. So he really wants them to understand it, you know. And it was just 2 students who asked the questions. And I know those questions were probably in the minds of everyone. I know that. I saw it in their faces. So it's like, you know, I don't know. Yeah, rubber ball. I think it's a rubber ball. Is it just a rubber ball? Because in Germany we have the special, we have a special designation for that kind of rubber ball that's jumping. Like, normal rubber balls also jump, but it's anyway. It's so. Cosmic strings, so string theory is that in very small areas there are like strings vibrating, and I'm not sure about the string hypothesis exactly, but it's basically linked to quantum physics, because quantum physics is also standing waves in bounded states in parts. So yeah, always, I don't know.
超巨大な質量を持つ紐みたいな形のひび割れです。
Is it though? This must be how they enter a universe. Do cosmic strings really
ひび
exist?
の幅は素粒子と同じぐらいで、長さは最低でも銀河系と同じくらいと思っていただければいいです。
No, what am I talking about? Don't know what she's talking about. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know what the fuck this is. Also, by the way, you should always ask questions in lectures. And I know it's hard. I never asked a question in lectures. I was a coward. I have to, like, I can admit that. Like, I was a really fucking coward. There was stuff I didn't understand. There were people who asked the questions I should have asked, and I got the stuff because of that. And also, I do think I only got science during my PhD time. Before that, I only learned for the test. And it was complex learning, but, you know, it's like... So we do have some cosmic strings here. I don't know why it's a topological object here. As wide as an elementary particle. You can't even measure that. Like, what is the width of an elementary particle? I mean, I guess, okay, I'm a bit party poopery here. If I'm very well intentioned, I can give them like the average, like the 95 probability of finding it in a certain area. So that's the, like, I do think it's a 5 sigma circumference though of probability. You probably don't know what I'm talking about right now. I'm just thinking to myself. I'm sorry. So let's say it's an angstrom wide. I know that's not what they say. It's far too big, but it's an angstrom wide galaxy in diameter. I've never heard of this hypothesis. This is not string theory. I don't know, you know. It's weird. Cosmic strings are not super strings. I'm so sorry, I've never heard of cosmic strings then. I probably am not, because I'm not in that area. I don't know.
これは巨大な質量であるがゆえに時空を歪める性質を持っているんです。その歪んだ時空を紐を中心にあなたがぐるっと一周すると
Angstrom is 10 to the power of 10. Yeah. Minus 10. So, yeah. Yeah, that's I get that problem. One of the most common problems I've discovered in my research on physics understanding, which is my main area of expertise. And I do think I'm, by the way, funnily, I am one of the world's leading scientists in that area, understanding physics, how that works in the brain and in the mind. I do think I'm one of the leading people in the world. So that's cool. I mean, it's a very small area. There's not many people doing it. But what I know and can tell you is that even the link between mathematics and physics is elusive, and it's the biggest hurdle to everyone trying to understand physics, because even if you can calculate everything, even if you can solve all the surface integrals and all the stuff, you might not understand what it means, and that's very hard. And we try to figure out how to make that better, that process to understand. So we are here. If you were to travel through that distortion, you could make a full circle around the string less than 360 degrees. Yes. If that's like let's forget this weird string thing. I don't know why that's here. So it's basically a black hole. Like if you have a black hole, that's exactly what happens. If you travel around a black hole, you don't cross 360 degrees. You cross less. That's really wild. That's so cool. I love that fact. Yeah. Like the atom size. Like you say that the rule of thumb is an atom is what 1 angstrom. That's, you know. Miriam, that's good though. That's very good. Like, be a pain in the ass. You know, I have to admit, like, I've had many students in my life, both in schools and in universities, and the people that I liked most, not like from a scientific perspective, is the people who ask the questions. And I've seen people asking ridiculously dumb questions, and I was always like, and people around me laughed at them, and I was like, you know what, at least that person asked and you didn't, so fuck you. You know, that was always my mindset, so just be a pain. Yeah, engineering is not that bad. In engineering, you're like this, yeah, pi is 3. I'm exaggerating, of course. But this, like, so it's basically a singularity stretched into infinity. I know that's not what they say, but that's basically what I think about here. So,
要するにワープみたいなことができるということ。これ 時空の角度欠損
That is true. It is not. I've never heard this in the context of cosmic strings because I don't know what she's talking about. But in black holes, that's a thing. If you travel around black holes, this is a thing. Sparkly water. That's so refreshing. This is cool. Like this, what she's telling here is really true. And I love that. It's so wild. Like you go around a black hole, it's not 360 degrees. It's so awesome. I love it.
角度欠損しているところを通過すると、そこは欠損しちゃってますので、
I don't know what transitines mean. I don't know that vocabulary. It does mean.
これを応用して、宇宙紐が高速に近い速さで運動しているとき、
Yeah, that's a problem though, Speedy. I know that problem. I talked a bit about that with a student of mine who does the trainings for the lecture in theoretical mechanics I advise currently on. And I told him there is this professor syndrome. I do have it too, I think. I'm not a professor yet. I mean, I'm on my way to be it. In 3 years, I am a professor. But, I'm like, it's not like I'm on that way. But I still am in this mindset of it's hard to remember what it is not to know. That's hard. It's harder than trying to know sometimes even. So, yeah. Speed, it's good, so we can let's play it together. So also, I will really try to do a Attack on Titan stream next Friday for everyone interested. Also check out the first 2 chapters of my book, which are on Patreon for everyone, even for the non-members. So, anyway.
相対性理論により、宇宙紐の時間は周囲より遅くなるから、歪んでいる角度欠損の領域を通過すると、本来0だった通過時間がマイナスになる。
Why? I don't know. I don't know what she's talking about. Because this cosmic string doesn't exist. It's basically you fly a sling by maneuver around a black hole. You just slow down time. I don't know her sequence of arguments is weird. Just because you have a smaller angle doesn't mean there's less time. Because you go back to the normal angle if you decelerate and go away. I don't get her point here. I don't know. Yeah, remembering the asshole professors. I never had an asshole professor. I had one in mathematics. Yeah, the problem also is with entrance exams. They are not very reliable in measuring competences. So, yeah. Yeah, that's like also, yeah, competitive is, yeah. There are so many problems with exams. I could talk an hour about that. I hate exams, the way they're done. I understand why they're done the way they are done. Like, don't get me wrong, there is a certain reason for them doing them the way, and it's like it's economically valuable because they save time with the way they do it. But yeah. So anyway. No, you wouldn't. Like, okay, let's do it like this. You know what? Let's do it like this. I will explain it with a sheet of paper because people love to explain like. So this is space time. Okay, and you travel here. I don't know. Like, okay, let's do this like this. God, this is so stupid. Okay, so you travel from here to here. You know. What she's saying is that if you do this, and you travel from here to here, and you unfold it, you're like, you travel back, like, through time here. Like, no, that makes no sense. It's just a space-time geometry. I don't know what she's talking about. Anyway. Yeah, the bachelor-master system is really fucking stupid in that regard. The only thing I have to say is, and I'm getting tangled up in my cables here, sorry. So, the the thing with the 3 times failing, I really hate that, is because it's exactly what you say, is the stress. If you fail an exam once, and if it was, especially if it was because of a blackout, and I did have that, I can tell you a little story about that in a moment. If you fail an exam because of a blackout, the next exam will not test your skills or competences, it will test your stress resistance. Only that. You know? So, I don't know. That's really stupid. So, so I once, my thermodynamics exam I did, I wrote my first and last name as the same on the paper because I was so stressed. Like, I can't think under stress. Like, every exam I did, I didn't do well. The only one I aced was quantum physics. Like, I just wrote that down. Like, I was so familiar with all of it that I did not have any problems. I think it was the only exam where I felt capable enough to get the like MIT or Harvard or whatever it was exam questions and solve them and stuff. From all the others, I was so fucking bad. Yeah, I do think blackouts are a very big problem. That's why I like oral exams a little bit more, because at least as an examiner, you know when they are being like brain dead because of stress. You see that. Like I see that. And I like that more though, because I do think I'm a pretty calm person. And I do try to be very amicable in interactions with students. Like, I give them my first name, like they don't have to call me Dr. something, It's like I don't give a shit about that. And in the exams, I'm like, yeah, you want a coffee, some cookies or something, I try to create a very relaxing atmosphere to make it seem as if they're just talking to me as they would talk when we talk all the time about physics or education next to my lectures or in my lectures. So that's my tactic, and I do think that can counter these problems of stress. I like my most relaxing oral exam I had was in philosophy. I did take a philosophy exam because I had to in educational courses. It was really cool. I had an amazing professor, and I had an oral exam, and I knew the matter inside out, like no problem. So I went to him. We just had a cup of tea. We talked about the Matrix for like half an hour, like and looked into the philosophy of that and of this brain in a jar hypotheses and all that stuff and solipsism. Just aced it. It was just drinking coffee. I liked that. The most pleasant exam I ever had. So yeah. Miriam, that's good that you got his ass fired though. Like that's like ridiculously stupid. Like people like that exist. I don't know how you could do that. It's so disgusting. It is. It's really something I can't wrap my mind around either, because I don't understand that. I do think you've such a valuable and important duty as a teacher to be more of this guide than like on that level. It's just so disgusting to me. I don't know. No, it's... Hi, Israel. I hope you have been doing very well. Yeah, the thing is also with questions, it's a lottery. It's just a lottery. Like, you would probably be better off just doing IQ tests, and even that would be fucking stupid, because it doesn't mean anything either in most cases, so. Yes, but that's a good idea, though. Like, I always advocated for only doing oral exams in my institutes as well. And we are doing that currently. There's not as... No, wait, we're not. Like, in our teacher education at the university I study at, we do have 5 exams they have to write, and it's just to show that they can calculate, and all the other exams are oral exams. And I like that, even though our students end up crying a lot. I don't know why. I think my friend and supervisor not supervisor, my friend and boss is quite an intimidating presence. I don't know why he's really kind, but that's just how it is. I don't know.
ざっくり言っちゃうと、それが宇宙ひ
So cosmic string, superstring theory. Okay, let's just go to superstring theory. All matter in the universe is composed of strings. That's true. That's true. Like which posits 11 dimensions. I do think there can even be more. It's currently impossible to prove experimentally. That's still true. We can't prove that. So why have it? Like why have a theory that does not, like, I think that's also such a little sleight of hand. Calling strings theory a theory should not be called a theory. Like, it should be a mathematical theory, that's fine, but however, it is said that if this theory is proven, it will explain all phenomena from the birth and scope of the universe on the macro level to... That is true, but that's so weird. She didn't talk about string theory. She made some superstring bullshit up. I've never heard that, so we will never know what she wanted in that. Oh, no. Bad game. I wanted to do this.
超紐理論とは別物ということです。というわけで、宇宙
She just said that. I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. Criminology is, yes, I do think, it is the other way around. In criminology, you have to take part of psychology. It is like sociology, I think, in part, behavioral psychology is in part mandatory for criminology, so... Speedy, that's actually a pretty awesome statement that you did. That is so true. That's a good one. I like that. I really like that. Also, by the way, now that I have my capture card, we can play Elden Ring Night Rain when it drops. I hope you will be interested in that as well. So, yeah, so.
宇宙紐。これは2つ必要です。あ、ちなみに宇宙紐って
I don't know, this is all a bit mumbo jumbo.
仮に宇宙紐を見つけてきたら、それを光に近い速さで運動させるためのエネルギーが必要です。
Oh, yeah.
銀河と同じ長さのひび割れを光並みに加速させるには、どのくらいのエネルギーがいるんでしょうね。少なくとも
I don't even know what Jigo is. I've never heard that.
21ジゴワット以上なのは確かです。
That's like, why would you accelerate it? Like, it doesn't matter that it's as long. It's the mass that matters. What's she talking about? Yeah, I said that, like, I only know the German things. Kilo mega giga, error, juk. Is it an exa? Exajoule? Exajoule. Isn't it an exajoule that's big? Whatever. No one uses those things. Yeah, I agree. She's just doing random stuff, so I don't know.
その3、宇宙紐があるところまで行って戻ってくるための宇宙船。
Yeah, all of this is bullshit. Let's just skip.
ホーインさん、宇宙紐理論でのタイムトラベル、挑戦できると思いますか？
You know what she's doing? It's basically, you know, I can be like her. You know, there's a method of time travel. You have to find the mumbo jumbo particles of the mumbo jumbo galaxy, and if you go to the mumbo jumbo galaxy with a hyperdrive, you could theoretically or potentially time travel. You can't do that, can you? So time travel doesn't exist. Like, that's what she's doing. Yeah, peta, and then exa, and then octa, and then iota? I don't know, whatever. That's so fucking dumb. That's basically, she's like basically, you know, taking hypotheses. She's just making up shit to make him look like an asshole. It's so funny, actually. Wormholes, okay. Let's see what wormholes she does. Is she gonna take the paper thing? Okay. I will predict now that she's gonna do the paper analogy that we have from Event Horizon. Let's see if she does it.
空間に開いた抜け道のようなもの
It's not though.
だろ
Like it is, and that's not the core though. The wormhole is basically the fun thing about wormholes is that in general relativity, you would say it's like a real literal hole in space-time that connects a part far away with your part. But the funny thing is, we know we don't know like what is knowing, but we are pretty sure currently that entangled particles are connected through wormholes, or that entangled particles are a wormhole, because that's the only way currently we have to explain non-locality. So, let's see how they explain them.
ね、そうです。
Like, if you wouldn't know what a wormhole is, like, oh yes, they do
2
it.
つの穴があ
Yeah.
って、それはトンネルでつながっている。トンネルは通過時間ゼロで通り抜け
And
られる。
that's the thing, though. This is just an image. These points, like this point here, and this point here, I hope you can see them, like this point and this point, they're not connected. That is just a visualization. They are the same point. That's the idea. That's the real cool thing about wormholes. They're the same point. They're not connected. They're the same. This point is the same as this point. And this funnel is just a visual representation, because otherwise, how would you visualize this and this being the same? Like, you can fold it, then it's clear, but spacetime is not folded. That's why I like it, though. It's like this, you know what I like. Let's do it. So it's like if you have this point and you fold it, they're the same. And that's how what a wormhole is. They have the same point. It's the same point. That's the thing.
だけど、ここで残念なお知らせ。ワームホール
And
の
that's
トンネル
also
は
why this makes no
常住力が
sense.
かかっていて
This doesn't exist.
開通
This
する
does
と
not
同時
exist
に
this
消
year.
えちゃいます。
Yeah, it's like that. It's something like that. I don't know. Exactly. Like, it's like, yeah. Yeah, relative speeds though, speedy. It's like that's a fun thing though. I don't know. I do think it's so wild to say there is no reference frame that is better than the other. There are ones that are more complicated than the other, but it's not better. So.
だから、かかる重力を無効化するために、何らか
No,
の
we
再生し
don't.
なく
This
ちゃダメ
doesn't
なの。
exist. But let's go.
いわゆるエキゾ
Oh
チック
Jesus
物
fucking
質。
Christ!
これは
Oh God, no!
マイ
You
ナス
mumbo
重さを
jumbo
持つ
exotic
物質
matter
に
out of your head.
重力に反発するんです。
By the way, though, they did solve equations in general relativity where they showed that hypothetically warp drives are real and they don't even need negative mass for that. It's so cool. Yeah, Yotta's really, really, really big. Negative mass. That's true that that's negative mass.
こうやってむぎゅーっとグーを作ってる状態が
There's no
ワ
tunnel
ー
in a
ムホールのトンネ
wormhole.
ル
That
です。
is completely
ここを
wrong.
通るためには手の中に私が握ろうとする力に反発する何かを作ってむぎゅーっとできなくしないとダメということですね。エキゾチック物質を注入してワームホールを安定させれば瞬間移動は可能になります。
Yeah,
ここで
this
は
is
仮に
all
ワームホールの出
funnily.
口側の穴が
She
今度
does
は
that
秋
a
葉原
lot. I do
出
think
口側
like
にあ
the
る穴
author
が
does this a
LA
lot.
にあるとしましょう。
The author does this a lot, taking figures of speech literally. Same with the compression of the information. Author did also take that literally, and it wasn't. It's so interesting. Yeah. Yes, but that also is such a good point. That's also how you see that it's bullshit, this stupid funnel thing. Like, there's no funnel. like you know what I would buy if you say like it goes to here and this is the same as that. But like, there's no funnel. It's the same. Yeah, it's D-bart. D.
ま
Anyway.
ず LA にある穴を光に近い速さで宇宙の果てまで飛ばしちゃってください。そ
Okay.
して相対性理論により 光の速さで動くと時間は遅く流れる。というわけで、その状態で法王院さんがワームホールに乗り
That's
込
not
んだ
how
ら、
this works. I
で
don't
も
know.
この時点ではまだタイムトラベルをしたことにはなりません。
No, God, fuck off. Okay, sorry. Film origin from the fact that time slows down as an object approaches its light. For example, this is also incorrect. No, because he has to turn around. Because you have to turn around, you do have a sign change, so it negates itself. Anyway, good tries though. I really like. I know I sound like an asshole here, but for someone who's not a scientist, writing all of this is really commendable. It's really well researched. It's just very classical misconceptions we have, but. Yeah, IQ bear drives, exactly. Those are the ones they did calculate with. I do think there was a paper in like 2 years ago where they calculated, they had a solution for an IQ bear drive where there was no negative mass involved. So, yeah, the word gift is so funny because Askin uses the word play all the time. So funny. The Urashima effect exists, yes. I didn't know it by that name. It's the grandfather parrot. No. What is the paradox called? Twin paradox, sorry. Twin paradox. You know it as that. Urashima
重
effect
要
is
なの
said.
はこの後、LA から秋葉原にもう一度法王院さんは数年前の秋葉原に戻ってくるわけです。これでタイムトラベルは完了。
Also doesn't work. Doesn't work. You know, it's like... You probably would just, like, part of you that goes through the wormhole will just age and die or something. Like, it's... I don't know.
ワームホール理論に必要なものは宇宙紐より楽ですよ。その1、ワームホールそのもの。この宇宙のどこかにもしかしたらあるか
Well,
もしれませ
by
ん。
the current understanding of physics, every integral thing is a wormhole, so I guess we have several of those.
その2、ワームホールの穴を光並みの速さで宇宙の果て
The
まで
funny
往復させ
thing
ること
is,
のできる
though,
エネルギー。
that the pressing question is not how do wormholes exist, is how does space-time arise from wormholes, so to speak, and, you know. I do think German pronunciations are pretty hard. I'm pretty glad that it's my mother tongue. I started reading Faust today, and it's really awesome. And it's really hard German. I do understand it, but yeah. I don't know if I have the serious animation. I don't know if I know that I might have said the stick figures. Someone asked me on the Discord, and I do have a series on the channel of Scientist Reacts to Science videos. It's a playlist on the channel. Like, you can just look it up. I did not do more because I got tired of them a bit. But yeah. German does not sound very angry. I can talk German and it will not sound angry. You want me to prove that? I did prove it in the monster reactions, but... Yeah, the stick figures are pretty... There are pretty many problems, though, in those, but yeah. I will read you some Faust to prove that German is not angry. I can read it angry, though. Let me see. Wait a moment. Let me Google that. And Faust is very angry German, I would say. Let's do Faust, the prologue in the heavens. I will just... You want me to read this? I don't know if I should. Yeah, the mic problem as well. I will read you some Faust as I would read it in German. I will not overly soften it out, but I will also not exaggerate it. So this is gonna be the angel Raphael speaking. Die Sonne tönt nach alter Weise in Brudersphären Wettgesang und ihre vorgeschriebene Reise vollendet sich mit Donnergang. Ihr Anblick geht den Engeln Stärke, wenn keiner sie ergründen mag. Die unbegreiflich hohen Werke sind herrlich wie am ersten Tag. You know, I do think that does not sound very angry. It is a calm scene though, so I don't know. I don't know. You be the judge of that, but let's go back to time travel. I could do really angry German though, but I will not do that.
エキゾチック物質。ちなみにこれ、
Yeah, that's why it's called
実在
exotic,
は
by
確
the
認さ
way.
れてません。
So,
バカらしいと最初に言った理由は分かってもらえましたか？
this is also a dumb argument though, because you say just because we can't do it yet is we can never do it. That's never say that. So, I'm always plotting stuff. I'm Johann. It also was hard German, like hard to read because it was old. I don't know.
タイムトラベルの理論はどれも思考実験です。それらの理論からでは実際にタイムマシン
That
を
is
作るこ
true
とが
though.
できない
She has
とい
got
う
a
こと。
point here.
もっと簡単なものはないんですか？例えば机の引き出しを。
Yeah, something pull out of the drawer like a microwave oven. So funny
結
though.
局、現代の物理学じゃそこが限界。それに、仮にもっと簡単に過去へ行ける方法が発見、因果率に関する根本的な問題が解決されていませんから。
That is true though, here what she's saying. It does have a complex diction due, but I did read a very intricate poem. I can read you the newspaper. You know what? I will read you the newspaper in German. Let's go. Let's take the build because I did see that in the last monster reaction. So let's go to. I don't fucking care. What do we have? Oh, fuck off! I don't want to get a. I don't want to get a subscription, you ass bag. Don't care about Colin Farrell's son either. Ehe aus nach nur einem Jahr. That was German. It's a headline. It doesn't sound angry. Diddy pleite schon vor Prozessbeginn. I don't know. These are just headlines I just pull out. You know what I mean. So I would argue that's not that angry. I do Johann pretty well. I think I agree. Though the Johann voice actor also like, man, holy shit. The past two episodes, I think I've watched 27, 28. Jesus frick, man. Johann's such a... Yeah, Johann's voice actor is 100% perfect. So we've got the stupid formula. I mean,
質量保存の法則
there is no conservation of mass. Why would there be conservation of mass? There is conservation of energy. You know, but you have to have a closed system for that. Like in a closed system, energy is conserved. You just assume the universe is a closed system. That's why energy in the universe is conserved. And causality, I don't know. If you want my take on causality and time travel, you can watch my Warhammer 40k reaction to the warp and its physics. Because basically, time travel, depending on what you take as an idea, you either switch universes, which makes no sense from a conservation of energy point, which she's correct in. I don't know. I can also make Rammstein feel pretty tame, so... Like this, the mass of the entire universe is constant is incredibly wrong. The energy of the entire universe is constant, and it is only constant because we assume it's a closed system. I mean, it per definition is, but I don't know. Present-day scientists are not Germans, most of them. if a time machine traveled from the future to the past, there would suddenly be the extra mass of the time machine and its pilot in the past. I mean, if it's connected via space-time geometry, it's no problem. Don't see the problem. It's a step function, so I don't know. Such a violation of mass conservation would put the universe in danger. Nope, wouldn't. Why? Why? It didn't say what kind of danger, though. Because you made it up. Just pull it out of your ass. Anyway.
質量保存の法則を宇宙のようなマクロレベル、あるいは原子や素粒子などのミクロレベルの仕組みに当てはめるのは誤りです。
She's so smug, I love it. Love it. Love it, man, I love Kurisu.
あれは化学反応に対する法則でしかないから。
Oh, thank fuck.
無から有は
At least
生み
that.
出せますから。
Something can... Oh, no, okay, yeah, that is true as well. We do have... Wait, this is gonna be fun. I will let her talk because there's a lot to say about this.
では何がも
タイムパラドックスはタイムパラドックスでも、親殺しのパラドックスの方です。
Oh, she didn't elaborate. So I will have to elaborate. So there's this thing called energy-time uncertainty relation. It is a bit ill-defined because the formalization in mathematics is hard and I don't think we have a completely satisfying way of doing it. But it's basically the idea of creating matter, like borrowing energy for certain times from nothingness. That's an idea we have, works in quantum physics, but only long enough for it not be detectable. It's also what Hawking radiation works on. So if a black hole, like let's say you have to, like if that happens, like if energy is created from nothing, so to speak, for a certain time, it is created as particles. Like it can be, like I simplify this a bit, let's say it is created as particles. Not necessarily, but let's simplify it as that. So there are two particles created, because like positive negative charge, like it has to be zero in the end, and they are near a black hole event horizon. One is pulled into the black hole, the other is going away. You suddenly have excess energy. With that you have excess mass. The mass has to come from somewhere, so it has to come from the black hole, so the black hole will lose mass through this process. That's what Hawking said. You know, I don't know. It's not, Hawking radiation is not something proven. I always thought it was. I've talked to some astrophysicists, so I don't know. If there are 18 people, that's pretty cool. So shout-outs to all 18 people watching, or more or less. I mean, I don't expect more than 10 people to be here because I ninja'd this, like it's a surprise stream. So I don't know. So, grandfather paradox, let's go. There are several solutions to that. There are solutions. It's paradox can be resolved if you change the circumstances or the rules it operates on. So
殺さなければいいんじゃないの？
what if you just, I love that line.
そんな単純な問題じゃありません。SF 映画と同じように考えるのはとても危険。矛盾が生じることは因果律の崩壊、相対性理論の崩壊。
Not necessarily though, but I've discussed this in the show already.
理論上の思考実験に過ぎない。現実に起きることはないし、起きてはいけないことなんです。
By the way, I don't know for certain, but because I'm not a philosopher or not a logician, whatever you say, but as far as I've seen, all paradoxes are perhaps not all. I just don't remember one that isn't. Paradoxes very often are problems of self-reference. If something self-references, there's a paradox. For example, the grandfather paradox is about referencing yourself by, so to speak, killing your grandfather. Or the liar paradox. If you say all creeds are liars, and that's said by a Crete, someone from Crete, the Greek island, that's a paradox as well. So, Hi, Aaron. Yeah, Aaron. We are playing it next week. We will hopefully watch Attack on Titan again. Yeah, or you just become your own grandfather. Yeah, that's also a fun idea.
たとえ 0.00001% でも起きる可能性のあるどんな行動も絶対に実行には移せない。
I'm
So
unsure,
can't
no.
find
Perhaps you just didn't understand the universe's rules.
多世界解釈や自己無矛盾の原理っていう抜け道もありますが、個人的にはファンタジーすぎると思うので。
So here her argument is like, it's weird, I don't believe it. And she's a quantum physicist. Yeah, you better study electrostatics. All the best for the test. And yeah. I really am glad I can bring some positivity with these reactions. Also check out, after the exam, you can check the first chapters of my book. All of you, check them out. Don't know if anyone's already read them on you know, but... No! No! It's almost as bad as the anime. They blue balled me on the other hypotheses. What's the laser thing about? What's the fucking laser thing about? Why would there be a laser in time travel? Because it's photons? What the fuck are you talking about? You stupid. Jesus fucking Christ, they blue balled me again. I'm so sad. Anyway, I don't know. Oh, we will meet Ruka? Finally. I really like Ruka, one of my favorite characters as well. Really, really cool character. I think the Ruka episode gave me most to think about next to the Kudisu Death episode, like 22. Exorcism, yeah, the grudge is gonna come. Gonna grudge you. Yanabayashi Shrine. I don't know what Yanabayashi means though. Manseibashi Bridge. I think we had that explained in one of the things. By the way, this fox thing, is that a deity? Is that a demon thing? Oh, I love that. Why is... Oh, okay, Miko. Why is Ruka called Miko here? Also, shouldn't she still be a boy at this point? Why is she saying girl? I'm just confused because normally he's calling her boy very adamantly. Why wouldn't he do it here? I don't know. Yeah. I love that though. The chief priest's son. It's funny. But he's a guy. It's so stupid. Very interesting that Ruka is a lot more femininely drawn. You know? Like the lips especially, very interesting. I really like this as well, this image. But he's a guy. This is a lot more funny than in the anime, actually. It's so funny, man. But he's a guy. It's so funny. I love this. But he's a guy. That's so dumb. I love it, man. This is so funny. You know, perhaps I find it more funny because I know all the story. body's a guy. That's so dumb. That is really incredibly dumb. I love it. Like,
ルカ子よ
or I don't even know what the word
Oh my.
is. I think
俺
in
が
German
刀
when I
を
say
どうし
dumb.
た
Lukaku. Pedestrian heaven. Very interesting. Oh.
妖刀さみだれのことですよね。
Also interesting that the voice, this is a female voice actor
そう
already.
だ
Really cool.
あれはお前の力を制御するために買ってやったのだぞ
Blade
秋葉の
works.
武器屋本舗で買ったやつでしょ。
Blade works. Oh, okay. That probably would be a store that sold stuff a lot.
480円だっけ。
マユリそれ以上言うと奴らに消されるぞこの件については口を
That's
出
so
すな
funny, man.
消されちゃうの？おかり、心配してくれてありがとう。
His delusions.
でも、奴らって誰かな？
You know what I've thought about as well is that in Chaos Head we had the delusions as well and stuff. So if you're a Chaos Head fan and played Chaos Head before this, which I did, but I don't remember Chaos Head a lot, but you would buy into his delusions more. You would give them even more weight than I gave them when I watched this, I think so.
それでルカ子よ妖刀さみだれはちゃんと使っているのか
はい。1日1回は素振りを。
あれを持ち
Also love the eyes,
精
that's
神
really
三割
cool.
を極めさえすればお前は己の内にある邪悪な炎に焼かれずに済む
Dark flame inside your soul. Interesting. Is that dark flame in her soul her own insecurities and trauma here? Does he already understand that on some level? Yeah, perhaps that is why he wants him to train here. Yeah. I do think Okabe, like, because the way I understand Okabe's character and how I understand him at this point in the story is that he doesn't know how to directly communicate and interact with people effectively and so that he helps them. And he does learn that through his time travel adventures, though he already does it subconsciously. So it would fit. It would really fit. No problem, Nanubuff. The game's good though. Like, if you're a science fan, it's a very good game. I do think the game has the emotional part though. Like, you can, I don't know if you know like, I did react to the anime STEINS Gate, which this game is, like, the anime is based on this game, so. And this is better. Like, this is better than the anime. The anime is incredible as well though. So that even says more.
あんな素敵なものをプレゼントしてもらえて。
Spinning lasers. I don't know if spinning lasers would do that. I've not heard. I think I heard about that. Like, it
俺は
reminds me of something I read, but I was too young to assess its validity. So.
おかりんだよ。
Oh, it's so great.
ごめんなさい、京馬さん。
Laser-based photon capture and playback, a new and different year and time. I mean, photons in most papers I see the headlines of, and I mostly only read the abstracts. It is that photons are in some way linked to time travel when they write something. So. Interesting. I don't remember Sasha's voice, though, I have to admit. We have to pay attention next Friday when we watch the Sasha episodes. I mean, Sasha is in season 1 a lot, so we will
で
hear the
は合
voice.
言葉を。
El Psy Kangaroo!
違う、コンガ流ではなくコングルー
I
だ。
love that this is a cultural thing, though, that she says an L instead of an R.
エルブサイこれでいいですか？
Also, she or like Ruka wants validation from him here. That's really cool.
ありがとうございます。
Man, this is catching me so off guard. It's so funny.
美しい師弟関係だね。
Fujoshi.
は不女
Fujoshi is term phenotype with a particular interest in yaoi. I see. Okay, okay. I've not heard that before. Fujoshi. Okay, I mean, you never stop
じゃない
learning.
けど、ちょっとドキドキしてきちゃうよ。
I think Ruka's almost as kind as Mayushi as well.
変な想像しないで。
But I find that so sad, though, in a way, because especially if Ruka here is having feelings for Okabe, there are so many limits, societal and stuff, in the way. It's so sad. Must be such a burden. Such a burden, man. I think that's so cool, though, that Ruka and Ferris are both characters that had such big consequences shown and how they affected them. And I think those two backstories in the end were incredible. And they really moved me. They were really well done. Weakness of not catching on too quickly might just be pretending, though. Or, like, you know.
それでなぜマユリはここにいる？
ルカ君に会いに来たんだよ。来月のコミマで
Oh, Komimaya.
ライネットのキラリちゃんこそしてほしいってずっと頼ん
Kirari-chan.
でるのにちっとも OK してくれないん
Man,
だよ。
that's so funny, though. I remember while I watched it, I didn't get that Komima was the convention, and I thought it was a person. And I got so fucking suspicious of Komima, and it was just a convention. It's so funny,
だっ
man.
て
I was so dumb. Sometimes I'm really dumb.
でもルカ君は絶対にこんな可愛い子が女の子のはずがないって大人気になるよ。ねえ、しようよ、コスプレデビュー。
That's interesting. I see. Okay. Really cool that we get this information. Yeah, perhaps I will go for other endings. I might go for a... You know what I would go for? I don't think I would be a good Okabe cosplay. I think the best cosplay I could do would be Aizen. Because I do have a similar hair color, and if I pull my hair back and do the fucking stupid Aizen lock thing, I would probably look a lot like Aizen without glasses. I don't know. No? I do think I would. I look quite like Aizen if I like in both forms. So anyway. I had a friend who cosplayed, as I said. He cosplayed female characters as well. And it was really good, so I definitely need a more impressive chair. I don't know if I would be a good Johan. I don't look as good as Johan, and he's blonde, so I don't know. Perhaps an adult Johan if he makes it through the anime, which I doubt somehow, but I don't know who would do him in because Tenma can't. It's against his character, so I don't know.
そんなくだらないことは後でやるんだな。
I know about the chair. I memed about it too. I remember when those episodes came out, And when the chair, you know what happens. That was so funny because I think Kubo knew. I think Kubo knew that everyone memed the hell out of the chair because Eisen comments on it when X happens. I will not spoil it. It's so funny.
マユシーにとっては大事なことだもん。
俺にとってはくだらないことなのだ。
Yeah, I mean, Miriam, I think is probably everything has like different levels of, you know what I mean. So, I mean, also sometimes themes categories can be detrimental. Sometimes, not always though, as well. Like it's a finicky thing.
だったらお父さんに。
あ、いや、
Oh yeah, that was like in 2 episodes, I
気
guess.
休めでいいのだ。というわけで、例のあれを持ってこい。
Bring out the usual.
例のあれと言います。
違う。お祓いに用途は必要ないだろう。お祓いって言ったら。
Isn't that these marks things?
正式な名称はわからんが、棒に白い紙がふさふさとついていて、神主がわさわさと
Yeah. That's what I thought. That was thought.
今のオカリンの説明、ゆとりっぽい。
Quite a shock to that from Mayuri. I love though that Okabe is presented as a lot more of normal intellect than he was in the anime. In the anime, I always felt he was really clever, just clumsy. And here he is definitely not as clever as you know what I mean? It's really cool.
おほぬさですね。
Oh, Nusa. What's the cultural? A wand. Okay, it's just a wand. I guess it's whatever.
お父さん貸してくれるかな。ちょっと聞いてきます。
Okay, so let's go. It's so interesting that we never really got anything done with the watch. I wonder if they will use it here in a better way because it's also already prominent. It's pockety, okay. Pockety. Yeah.
じゃあ、マユシーはこれからバイ。
そうか、頑張ってこい。バイトが終わったら直接帰る。
Ikebukuro. Something with black. Okay, that's cool. Oh, okay, yeah.
というわけで、また明日ね。
I mean, Eisen's the best, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, the grandma. I loved Mayuri's
Mayuri.
backstory, but it did not give the big payoff that I expected because we also had the weird, the past world, you know, with 70 million years ago and stuff that never got addressed really. And the black hole he fell into in that dream and stuff. It's like, I guess it was just his subconscious in the end. This afternoon.
聞いてないかな。
No.
そうか。わかった。
変なオカリン。
Current widow, I would agree.
じゃあね。
But being a weirdo is not bad. That's so funny, man. Mayuri over-exaggerated and waving.
お待たせしました。
I mean, why would he not have waited? He asked you to... whatever. The wide zigzaggy
借
thing.
りる
Let's
ことが
go.
できました。よかったで。あれまゆりちゃんは帰ったんです。
マユリはどうでもいいから、今すぐお祓いを始めるのだ。
That's so cool.
はい。僕でいいんでしょうか。そもそも。
Yeah, it's. I do think a
Oh,
pyropanegary. I think it's. I do think that's what it was in the end. It just was presented, or like it wasn't presented as that. I on my own fault did think it was like a plot point, like more of a hint towards the future. You know what I mean? So, don't know.
俺に
In my arm. Oh
取り
no!
付いた。
It's good. No, no, no.
静まれ。
It's so stupid, man.
そんな岡部さん
俺は
すいません京馬さん
お祓いを急げ。
It's so interesting though that he plays someone who is possessed. I mean, you can be possessed by dark ambitions or by dark, what's it called? Inklings, emotional traits. No, that's not the right word. What's that word called? Traits. Let's just say traits. Dark traits that you have, or by ideas, like on a more meta level. So, I don't know. I wonder if exorcisms came from that idea to counter bad ideas in a way. Like, I know it's not literally what it is supposed to do, but it's. I like looking at meta ideas. Oh yeah, there it is. This thing. Okay. Okay, let's go. Yeah, I don't know that as well. Like the 70 million years. I wonder if this will be in this in the novel even. If it is, we will get there. So we will discuss it then. But it's weird. It was just a weird thing. I probably would have cut it. I think I probably would have cut it. I think I wouldn't have cut the black hole because it was cool, but the 70 million years ago thing was at the start of an episode, and it was like, in the end, in hindsight, I don't know, I would have cut it. Like, I probably wouldn't have cut it from the visual novel, because that has the time to breathe, but in an anime where you have time constraints, for example, the backstory of Mr. Browner's stuff, which was, I don't know, was a bit not less explored. It was not explored enough, I think, so,
悪霊よ
Let's go.
じゃなく
おいいぞ。そのまま俺の腕にふさふさを当てろ。
The thing is also because he blushes, Ruka blushes here, he knows that they are pretending this, but he's like, oh cool, he wants to interact with me. It's like this typical, I would say, typical crush thing. Like, if your crush interacts with you, you do everything they want, like this trope, so. Yeah, it's really random, part that sounds really random. That's so cool, man. Didn't work.
ですか
大丈夫だ。悪霊は去ったようだ。よくやっ
お役に立てて
That's so
よかったで
cool.
す
But he's a boy. I know, so. I think I will call it quits there, though. Because I'm really tired. And it's Easter. So. But that was really cool. That was really cool. That was really fun to do. Let me save. No, don't do that. No, don't do that. Okay, brilliant. Very nice. Very, very nice. Blah, 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 blah. Where is it? Where are you? Oh, there. Okay. Brilliant. So, anyway, I do hope you like this. If you were here, thanks for being here. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're not subscribed, which I don't think is likely. But, yeah, so I don't know when I will continue it. I hope I will continue it in 2 weeks. Because my idea is to do Attack on Titan live watch and this changing every week. And I hope I will just, because sometimes I just can't because I'm too tired or my daughters are like crying. And so I will try to do it consistently somehow. So I wish all of you good night. Don't forget to, if you're on Patreon, or like if you have my Patreon link, don't forget to check out the chapters and feedback them perhaps. So yeah, yesterday's probably a bad day because I can't time travel. So anyway, I will also announce some of that stuff on tomorrow with the chapters, so you can look out for that and put it and share it. But yeah, so we will continue this, and yeah. So have a happy Easter. Yeah, frohe Ostertage. Happy Easter. And I have to go to bed. I will see you around. Take care of yourself as always, and